Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is Proverbs 214. The proverb today is opportunity makes a thief. Okay, let's take a look at the note here. If someone says that opportunity makes a thief, he or she is suggesting that even people one thinks are moral and upright, good, they would never do anything wrong, may take a chance at stealing if they were sure they could do it without getting caught. Okay, now, maybe not everybody's like this, but you'd be surprised. A lot of people you think would never do it may actually take a chance to do it. That's kind of what their idea is. Let's continue. The origin of this proverb comes from a quote by Sir Francis Bacon that he wrote in a letter. He suggested that anyone would probably be willing to commit a crime if he or she believed that there were no controls put in place, meaning no controls set up, to catch them, or that it would be highly unlikely they would ever be punished for it. Okay, good. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you think this is true? All right. You can write it in the comments if you think that's true. But anyway, let's continue. Let's look at the first example we have here. We decided to put in a surveillance camera. That's one of those cameras in the store that's, over an area in our store because we need to cut down on theft. Studies show just by having a surveillance camera, it works because opportunity makes a thief, and the camera helps to limit opportunity. Yeah, I myself used to have a business, and I learned a long time ago one of the best ways to cut down on shoplifting or people stealing from you is to limit the opportunity. Even in the store, even sometimes when you see a surveillance camera, maybe it's a dummy surveillance camera too. Maybe it's not even filming anything, and it would still reduce theft because people see it and they just don't know, so they're not willing to take a chance. So really, and actually, to be honest with you, if they hid the camera, they could catch a lot more people. But, stores would rather not do this because they don't want the trouble of having to accuse somebody, call the police, go to court, make a court date. It would just be so much easier to put the surveillance camera up there to deter them, to stop them from stealing in the first place. Okay, good. It also reminds me, too, a long time ago, one of the videos I did of a Thomas Jefferson quote, he always says you should always act or behave as if the whole world were watching. So in this sense, of course, he doesn't really want a camera on you. He means that, if you really acted or behaved that way, it would probably help to make you a more honest person, and you won't be tempted to do the bad things. Anyway, let's continue. Let's look at number 2 here. I know you believe you can trust them, but leaving cash or valuables just sitting out in the open with no one around is not a good idea. Opportunity makes a thief. Yeah, this is another thing. Sometimes when you stay at a hotel, they always warn you, don't just leave valuables hanging out. To be honest, probably most cleaning ladies are very honest, but there is somebody coming in your room and changing it, and you're tempting them. So it's better not to do that. They have had hidden cameras sometimes that caught the people who change sheets or change the clean the room, sometimes actually stealing. So now, of course, I'm sure they don't all do that. I'm sure there's some very honest ones, but again, opportunity makes a thief. That's their point. Number 3 here. If you want to reduce shoplifting, a key factor, a main factor, very important factor, don't leave any unguarded areas in your store. It is true what they say, opportunity makes a thief. Okay, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it was informative. I hope it was food for thought, makes you think. Again, like I said, if you agree with this or don't agree with this, let me know in the comments. Anyway, thank you for your time. Bye-bye.